I got it. I did it. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. All of you know me, but I'm Kammy, and I'm so thankful that y'all came. And um, sorry, I'm like, no, they're good. I tried to sit out here so that nobody would bother me, but it just means so much to me. I know there's a million other places that y'all could be, and it means so much to me that y'all chose to hop on here tonight. Um, as I'm sharing my story, I would love for you to drop in the chat, like, what is the first thing that pops into your mind when you think of Plexus? Because I know for some of y'all, you are kind of familiar with Plexus. Some of y'all are not as familiar with Plexus. So, but anyway, you can think about that as I'm sharing. But so the biggest thing for me, I had watched Michelle actually share for years about Plexus on social media. I was always super intrigued by like the products and a lot of the testimonies that she would share. I was like, man, this looks like it's really good stuff. And I really trusted Michelle. You know, a lot of people sell a lot of things and you're always kind of like, I mean, I don't know. Like they're probably just trying to make an extra dollar, you know. I mean, I don't know. Not necessarily always, but kind of, you know. But I really trusted Michelle and I was like, as crazy as it seems that all of these different things are helping these like this thing is helping all of these people with all these different problems. I just know Michelle would not back something like this if she didn't know that it was true. But I never really had a health issue. I like never had a reason to reach out really, and money was always an issue for us. So I knew that likely I was not going to be able to afford it. But I got to this point in my life where I started having some hormone issues that I was starting to get checked out. It was nothing super major. But I started going to the doctor and she was like, "Yeah, you have some cysts on your ovaries." So she had kind of recommended birth control. I was really not wanting to do that. We just kind of kept checking and I went to my appointment. I believe it was like in November or something. And she was like, the uterine lining of your uterus is entire, like way too thick. It was like a 19 and it was supposed to be a 10. And she was like, and you have this, like something in there that we want to biopsy. And so we need to do a DNC. I
Mm.
mean, I'm like done having all of my kids and I'm like not pregnant. And I was like, oh my gosh. And so I called Michelle. I agreed. I was like, that's fine. I'll do this. But I called Michelle and I was like, does this help with hormone imbalance? And she was like, it does. And I was like, okay. And so from that moment on, it was really on my mind. And Michelle reached out to me when they had a really good special. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to give this a try. I'm going to give this a try and see. I had absolutely no intention that it was going to immediately fix what I had going on. I knew that's not how it works. She was really good about explaining that to me, but I also just knew that I did not want to be having this issue reoccurring over time. And so I started the products and I ended up getting this was in like 2020, like the November, December of 2020, and I got COVID at the week of my procedure. And so the whole procedure was canceled. You didn't do anything, in the hospital when you had COVID. I didn't even have a bad case of it or anything, but that was it. I was done. I was quarantined for 10 days, shut down everything. And so meanwhile, I just kept taking the products. And every time I would try to reschedule the procedure that was still in that time, I had not tested negative in enough time so that it just kept getting pushed off to where I was about at the 2 month mark when they were ready to reschedule. And I asked my doctor, I was like, is there any possible way that you could do another ultrasound and just see like where we're at? Because I knew by this time maybe the products had been working. I didn't feel a ton different. I feel like I was in decent health when I started. So, I mean, I felt good, but I didn't just feel this massive difference. Um, and so she did the ultrasound, and sure enough, my levels were back within the normal ranges. Um, and the whatever that she wanted to biopsy was gone. And so I was sold. Like I was like, are you kidding me? And so we got it checked again about 5 months later, and things were even better than they were the time before. And by that time, this was like I said, I was probably on the products by this time for about 6 months. And I was noticing like I felt really good. We had had a couple sicknesses come through the house that normally I would have gotten. I never got those sicknesses. I was like, huh, I wonder if it has anything to do with this Plexus I'm taking. And then I also noticed before my hips would hurt, like my hips always hurt while I was pregnant, but I was getting to the point where they would just hurt regularly when I would wake up in the mornings. And I was like, my hips aren't hurting. Like it was just little small things. My skin didn't itch like it used to before. So for me, it wasn't just this massive change in those regards and how I was feeling, but I had the benefit of seeing like what it was doing inside my body. And then since then, now I'm massively like it's helped so much with my anxiety. I've added another product to help with that as well. It has like just my skin, all kinds of things. Like I feel really good entering my 40s and now I'm looking at the menopause years and I'm watching a lot of my friends that are doing this a little bit ahead of me that are walking through this season well. So I feel really good about that. So I could really honestly share all about me all night long, but I don't want to take up all of your night. So I'm going to pass it over to Michelle and let Michelle share a little bit of her story, and then I'll talk a little bit about the specific products that I use.
Okay, thank you, Kammy, and thanks for inviting me to be a part of this. So Kammy and I go way back. We go way back. I knew Kammy when she was a teenager, and it's so fun to be able to reconnect again after all of these years. I have five kids, and now they are three of them adults and two like 14 and 16. So it's wild. When I started Plexus, I was had just turned 39 and I was a really like on the outside, you would look at me and think, oh, Michelle's really healthy. So I was a fitness instructor. So I was working out multiple times a week, multiple times a day, leading classes, taking classes, loved to exercise. Um, I would eat pretty well. I did a lot of those like 30-day sugar fast, or like I knew nutrition was good, but I did have like a sweet tooth that no matter how many times I would do a sugar fast for 30 days, come day 31, I was back at it. And so there were just some things that I didn't think that I could ever really be free of. I just thought I had a sweet tooth and maybe I had a self-control problem. What started happening though, right before like maybe 6 months to a year before I started the products, is that I noticed when I would wake up in the morning, I would be exhausted. Like my head would hit the pillow and I would fall asleep at night. But when I woke up in the morning, it felt like I hadn't slept enough. Like I could have slept for hours more. And then in the afternoon, I would either take a nap or I'd grab another cup of coffee, a diet soda, something with caffeine or sugar so that I could get that like next lift. And while I just thought that was like mom life, had five kids, they were all young, we were homeschooling, it was exhausting. Um, then I started getting joint pain. My fingers started getting stiff. And I thought, that feels like arthritis and that doesn't feel okay. Like I don't understand what's happening. My feet had always hurt. I had really high arches. So plantar fasciitis was something I dealt with. I taught high impact exercise. So I just thought, this is your lot in life, Michelle. You're going to be tired and you're going to have pain when you wake up. Like this is how it is. It wasn't until I started just hearing the words gut health and inflammation that I started being curious about what else could it be. So I began my research phase, and what that looked like is I would like check out books from the library about inflammation. I love to read, I love to learn. I would listen to podcasts, and there were so many connections that were starting to become clear that I just hadn't linked together. Around 6 months after that, I started watching my cousin post about her like postpartum journey, how she was losing weight, feeling better, feeling the fog lift and all of that. And I was like, yay, that's great. And when she started sharing things about her skin clearing up, we kind of had this like what I thought was genetic skin issue. We would get really, really dry skin, like eczema around our eyelids, like to the point where they were like crack and bleed in the winter. It was awful. Um, Dandruff and like really itchy scalp. I really did think it was just genetics because we're cousins. And I thought, like, dang, the family genes. But then I started hearing her say, like, her stuff is clearing up. I had no idea that yeast overgrowth in our body could actually show itself in so many different ways. Joint pain, mood issues, sleep issues, stanky breath, which I had, eczema, scalp itching, like all of those things. And so the dots started connecting for me. So we are a big family. My husband was in full-time ministry then, and we did not have extra money. Like, not extra. We didn't eat out. We didn't do extra things. We just were very frugal. And so I never considered that I would do anything for it. I was looking at all the natural remedies. But my birthday was coming, and I thought maybe I could do this as like my present. Like I get some cash and like do this for my present. And so lo and behold, for my 39th birthday, my husband was like, "Hey, Tracy's on the phone. She's going to take your Plexus order." I was so excited about it because I thought there's hope. And so I started the products right away. Like I posted on social media. I don't know if this pink drink is going to make me gag or what, but I'm going to do it. And y'all, within a week, I didn't need a nap in the afternoon. I had one of the longest days and I came home and didn't crash out on the couch. And I thought, oh my gosh, maybe this really does work. And just as I got consistent, and I was very consistent, y'all, I had a checklist on my fridge. I was like, I'm not changing one thing. I'm doing these products and these products alone, and I'm going to see if they really work. And y'all, they did. Okay. The longer I took them, the more things it felt like the layers began to just peel away. So the first thing I noticed was my energy was steady through the day. I didn't need coffee, didn't need a nap. And then I started noticing my mood was a little lighter. My husband even said, like, you're laughing more. And I thought that was wild. Um, my joint pain went away in my fingers. And y'all, about 6 to 8 months in, my feet stopped hurting. I didn't need special shoes. I have still not changed my activity level, and my feet don't hurt anymore. And that's wild. But so much is rooted in gut health. I could go on and on, but what happened was the trajectory of my health was headed one way, and I made a change, and it started changing into a different direction. And I'll be 47 in about 3 weeks. And so I've been doing this for a little while, and it's incredible. I will never stop. I've seen win after win. Perimenopause is no joke, but I'm telling you, I feel like I'm having a better role of it because of all of the foundation that's been laid here. But I want to kick it back to you, Kammy, and let you describe some of the stuff that we're talking about here.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. I always love hearing all about your story. I'm going to try this sharing my screen. Can y'all see that by chance? You can? Okay, perfect. So now I'm going to see if I can go back over here, but I don't know if I can. Um, Hold on. Anyway, I want y'all to pay attention to these symptoms. And when I saw lists like this was the kind of stuff Michelle would share with me, or that I would see her share, and stories of people that had issues like this. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't understand how all of these things could be related to one thing. And so, that believe it or not, all of these things, if you were to get off the call tonight and you were to be like, I wonder, like maybe what you struggle with isn't on this list, but if you were to get off and you were to Google your symptom with gut health and to see if there's a connection, 9 times out of 10, there is going to be a connection. Um, so I'm going to stop sharing for just a second. Hold on, let me see if I can do that. Okay, because I kind of want to show you what the products are that Michelle and I started with. We started with a combo that we call the triplex system. It comes with ProBio 5, with BioCleanse, and with a packet of your pink drink. This is like a little thing you add in your water every day. So it's these 3 products. This is what we call our gut health system. And I hear people all the time talk about a probiotic and taking a probiotic. A lot of doctors recommend a probiotic. And one, they are not all created equal. And two, even if you are taking a probiotic, if you are not using something that's flushing out all of the bad bacteria, a lot of that good bacteria, like you have no way to get rid of the bad stuff. So this system has the Slim, the pink drink, the Bio Cleanse, and the ProBio 5. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. And so with the ProBio 5, you are getting 4 strains of healthy bacteria that we don't often get like in our diet every day. It also has this really special enzyme. This is one of my favorite things about this one. that actually causes this to get all the way to your gut. And a lot of things will dissolve on their way to the gut, meaning that you're not getting all of the strands that they promise. This one has the ability to make it all the way there. So your stomach acid is not going to kill it on the way. So all of those live cultures make it. And then the bio cleanse comes in. This is your gentle, like detox. It's not like a harsh detox. It kind of scrubs the inside of your intestine. So it also has magnesium and vitamin C in it. And so that's going to basically help flush out all of the bad stuff that your gut needs to get rid of. And then finally, we have the Slim. And this really targets inflammation and blood sugar balance. I, for a long time, was like, but I'm not diabetic. Like, I don't need blood sugar balance. And what I have learned is that when our blood sugar is not balanced, we are going to crash a little bit more on and off throughout the day. And I've been learning a lot about blood sugar and even just how certain foods can affect our blood sugar. And we can have spikes and crashes and stuff during the day. And so when we do that, it can cause like fatigue and mood swings and cravings and things like that, irritability. And then when that happens on a more regular basis, that can ultimately lead to more chronic diseases like type 2 diabetes and heart disease and stuff like that. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. Sorry, one more time. And I wanted to show a little bit about our reset. That's one other, or I'm sorry, I wanted to go here first, actually. There's a couple of different things that you can add on to Triplex. These are some of the most popular ones, and I'm just going to zoom through these super fast. Our hydrate, it's like a healthier Gatorade, basically. My kids absolutely love this one. I have a college athlete that takes this every day. The active as well. That's his little combo that he uses for the energy and the mental clarity. That's the biggest thing for me with active. The next one that you're going to see is Vital Biome. That one is like my baby. I feel like this one is the one. The triplex was what I started with. I was on that for several years before I ever added this in. But since I added this about a year and a half ago, my anxiety is, I can't even explain it. It has that one I feel like has changed my life. And then X Factor Plus, for those of us who are, that's the next thing that I will be adding when the hot flashes start. It is clinically demonstrated to help with hot flashes. And it's also just a really, really fantastic multivitamin that has aloe in it, helps your body absorb. Even people with the MTHFR gene can take this and their body can actually absorb things. So those are just a couple of different things that, like some of the more popular things that people like to add on to that triplex. And then I wanted to talk really quickly about our reset. Um, this one is probably the one, if you're on social media at all, you've probably seen a lot of people share reset results. This is our 3 day like detox. This is something if you are looking for just a really like power packed, like maybe you have been through a really stressful season in your life, or you would like to drop a couple of pounds, like this is a great way to do that. Helps reset your metabolism. It's a really great tool. And then this is like some of the results that people have seen from 3 day resets. So I really like to show those because we're not a quick fix company, but we do have like this product is one of those things that kind of I feel like it almost shows people like what Plexus is made of and what Plexus can really do for people. So I really love that one. So I'm gonna stop sharing one more time. And just to kind of wrap it up, if you are thinking of trying Plexus, I wanted to go over just a few of the perks that we have. Um, when you join as a VIP, you are able to have like discounted pricing. You're saving like 25% off of our retail prices. You also get a free water bottle, and we have a great referral system where you can get product credit, or you are also able to actually earn an income with Plexus. And so we can talk a little bit more about that if that's something that you would like to talk through. But I feel like the thing that I want people to see the most is just how much the products have just really changed my life, changed Michelle's life. It's something that I just get so excited talking about because as I've helped other people, I've gotten to see like how it's helped them with their issues as well. So I want to also add that we do have a couple of great specials going on right now too, where you can get free shipping for 3 months and you can join for $1. So I just would like to open it up really quickly. Does anybody have any questions? I know I like it's kind of like drinking from a water hose. So if you've got any questions, then I would be happy to answer those. Actually, I'm going to take it off record before we do that part.